Anthony Cumia, of course, and it is Wednesday. Let me check. Yep. That means Mr. Gavin McInnes joins us. There he is.
Hi, everybody.
Censored.tv, of course, as per usual on our Wednesdays. And Garrett, didn't I send you yesterday's prep? I didn't?
No.
All right. Well, I will, because there was some fun stuff on that, too.
Oh.
Let me do that. Gavin, you could chit-chat with the people for 30 seconds, I'm
okay.
sure.
I'm on my way to Ireland at 6 o'clock today for the first time ever.
Ireland!
Yep. Ethnically from there and from half of my parents' side. And looking forward to it, even though it's one of the most woke places on earth.
Yeah.
Clearly celebrating its own demise, embracing... They have a gay Egyptian as a prime minister.
Yeah. It's sad.
And
It really is.
They love it. And in America, they always blame the Jews for this ethnomasochism. Are the Jews doing it in Ireland? Is that a Jewish conspiracy over there?
I don't know.
Is there something about whites where they just love shitting on themselves?
Yeah.
They're lemmings.
Yeah,
we are lemmings.
It's that guilt thing, and I don't know where it comes from. It should just be proud.
I think it's genetic.
A proud, like, oh, we're white, you know. People always argue the point with me. They go, oh, look at this. White is everything, a pain in the ass. Yeah, they go, well, you're not white. I'm European.
You know who
Italy's Europe.
You know who isn't white? Like basically half of blacks. So 7% of the population is not white.
Yeah.
The way I gauge whiteness is, are you annoyed when they move next door?
Oh, that's a good gauge.
And like, no one gives a fuck if Asians or rich blacks, or Peruvians or you know, any other race, middle class Palestinians, like no one gives a fuck.
No.
But this whole one drop theory that when a rich black woman walks outside, people go like, what's she doing in here, boy?
Yeah.
And they love it. They pretend, like Michelle Obama pretends.
Yeah.
That like in fact, didn't that happen? She said someone was staring at her at a store.
Well, yeah, please. Please.
Shut the fuck up.
But they don't want people to live in their neighborhood that are like that. So So they're white?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, okay. So it doesn't really, like the liberals do, color doesn't matter. Like you could be a black white supremacist in liberals' eyes. So in your eyes, you could be a black white person.
93% of America is white.
Okay. Even though technically it's 60%.
Right. And as far as like people moving in next door that make you go, ugh, that's half of blacks. And the only people that don't go, ugh, to that is that same half of blacks.
Right.
Like Denzel Washington, if I saw a real one the other day on Uber Eats, Canotica.
What was that? A name?
Her name. Maybe it's K-Nautica, but it's K-E and then the word Nautica.
Nautica work here. Not with that name. Wow, okay.
So Canotica doesn't mind if Canotica moves next door.
No.
So the reason I bring this up is it's 98% of the American conversation. President Biden is talking about white supremacy all the time.
Yes.
And we're really talking about 7% of the population who pretty much keep to themselves. They They rob a bunch of stores.
Right.
They steal a bunch of makeup and shit, but they generally just stay in the hood and kill each other.
Yes. Not really a rampant threat physically anyway to us. Like we're probably not going to bump into them.
Right.
It could happen, but it's you know, even I admit it's not that common. But they could bust down the system, the society, the community. They could drive prices up. And that affects me. Right. People ask me, why do you care? Like they're killing each other. They're robbing stores in their neighborhoods. They're burning this down and stuff. It's like it all comes back to me, though. Right. I wind up having to pay. I wind up having services cut off or become much more expensive. It is a lot more of a hassle for me to exercise my rights as a human being because of that shit. So, yeah, that is where it does affect me. Offing each other in record numbers, I don't give a fuck.
Well, you
honestly
also
don't care.
You can no longer go to CVS down the street. It's gone.
Gone.
And it's amazing the damage that tiny minority can do, 7%, when, and again, even with the 7%, we're talking about the male side, 18 to 25. So we're really down to like 2 or 3. Although the looting is pretty genderless.
The females do tend to go out.
So let's go to 5.
Yeah, 5%.
Wow, the damage they can do, remember that article about 350 black New Yorkers are behind all of the shoplifting you see?
Yeah.
And destroying the entire city?
That is amazing.
And affecting real estate to the tune of billions.
There are millions of people here in New York City. And a few hundred bad prunes have ruined it all. Bad eggplant. Oh, by the way, where it says Curtis Lee, well, that's from today's. So, that was just yesterday's was whatever. And do you want a beer or something?
Yeah, I'd love a beer.
I'll have a water.
Oh, shit.
I have my annual physical tomorrow.
Okay.
So I've been kind of not drinking to.
Didn't you cancel yesterday's shows because you were so hungover?
No, that was technical issues we had. Enoch said technical issues.
Oh, okay.
No, I felt like shit, but it wasn't drinking. I haven't been drinking in a couple of days because I like to drink a lot of water and, fool the doctor into thinking I don't drink that much. So when he takes blood and everything and blood pressure and things like that, it doesn't look like I'm a raging alcoholic.
But the only person you're cheating is yourself.
Yes.
I would want to show the doctor the worst side of me.
You do? Yeah?
Yeah. I'm not that I ever go to doctors, but.
See, I want to know what it would be like if I stopped drinking. I want a doctor to go, oh, this is what you would be like if you didn't drink.
Yeah.
So that way I could drink and then I'll be like, whoa, I should stop drinking because then I'd be this guy.
I think so much of what they say is just
I think
instinct. I got punched in the liver really badly. Ooh. It's been hurting for 2 weeks now almost. And I know if I went to the doctor, he'd say, well, quit drinking. Because that sounds logical.
Yeah, liver.
If your liver's working, don't give it more work.
Yeah.
But you're just being cautious. It's like a lawyer where they go, well, I just don't go there at all.
Right.
And don't mention it at all. Because they're risk averse.
Yes. They are erring to the side of safety.
Yes. My liver will heal in 20 days if I don't drink.
Yeah.
And 22 days if I do. So fuck off, doc.
I just can't sit. If I was hungover, if I went to the doctor hungover, I don't know what readings they'd get, but I'm sure they wouldn't be good. Blood pressure would be terrible.
Yeah, I see.
I'll get a heart palpitation, and if they're taking an EKG, they'd be like, "What the fuck is this? Your heart skipped a beat."
It's like if you're selling a car, you want to get it detailed first.
Yeah. Wash it, change the oil, whatever, something just to boost that price up a little bit. Yeah, I'm boosting my own price up, my blue book value.
Have you had a colonoscopy?
No.
Because I brought a kit.
I've yet to have one of those.
You could do it live.
And no. We're supposed to get those as men at 50, they say. And I'm over my limit.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, everyone I've talked to, it's such a dreadful thought. I think the thought of it is a lot worse than the actual thing because everyone I've talked to, they go, oh, they give you Valium. You literally fall asleep.
You have the best sleep of your life.
And you wake up and it's all done. And I guess they hose you down. You don't have to feel not like when you get the prostate exam at the doc and he shoves his finger up your ass and then he throws some paper towels at you. Now clean yourself up, whore. And you got you're sitting there wiping KY off your asshole. Yeah. And you never get it all. So even when you go out in the parking lot and you sit in your car, you're like, you just feel like a gay whore.
I hate when you finally clean it off and you come back in the lobby and he's having a smoke with his friends and then they all laugh at you and they go,
yeah.
And you're just like,
or you hear a little thing and then he was hey, what were they?
And then you just go, call me?
Yeah.
And they're all like, call me? And they laugh.
Oh. It is a degrading thing for a dude. It's very degrading.
I had poo in there once.
Ooh, geez.
And he was pissed.
You're supposed to
he got the ET finger touching him. And he was took off his glove fucking. I'm
the spark of God.
Yeah.
The Sistine Chapel.
But God was my shit.
Yeah.
And he was man.
Oh, my God.
I was so mad. I'm sorry. I didn't realize I had to take a shit. It's way up there. You went fishing around for it.
I think it's because, look, you kind of know when you have an appointment, especially these days, it's set up months in advance. So you should know maybe a couple of days before, drink some water, just clean yourself out. I'm not talking about an enema.
I could have had like an extra coffee that morning.
There you go.
Lasted it out.
Last something out, clean up.
A little treat.
And yeah, you probably would better serve your doctor that way. You don't want a mad doctor mad at you.
I saw Bob Odenkirk talking about his doctor, and he said he was a fucking conservative, and he started watching Fox News, and he would have like mega stuff around, and he kept telling me to take some medication that would be good for my heart. And he was like, I just started to hate this guy because he's such a Republican.
Yeah.
And he thought, no, I'm getting a second opinion. So then he asked some liberal Jew if he should be taking these stints. Stints are what go in your, but it's a
stent is what goes in.
Okay, so I guess stints are a medication.
Stent? I don't know.
It sounds like stent, but it's a medication. And then he had a fucking heart attack.
Oh, jeepers.
Statin?
What?
A statin?
A statin?
Maybe.
Could be that's for cholesterol.
And then he goes, yeah, the guy, I didn't like his politics, but he was a good doctor.
Ooh.
And I just ignored his advice because of my own prejudice.
See?
They're slowly learning.
Yeah. I don't know. But I'm sure there are great liberal doctors that you might also go like, oh, this guy. I try not to get into any political conversations with a doctor.
No way.
And the doctor I go to get my T shot, like I see him once every 2 weeks. So we kind of chit chat a bit. And I get the impression he's a little liberal. But like, I'm not going to sit there and really pull it out of him and go, hey, what's his fucking take on Biden or Ukraine or any of that shit? And he is Jewish because, doctor.
Yeah.
They do. And would you rather have a Jew doctor or one of these Indian doctors?
Jew.
Yeah.
He's whiter.
Yeah.
He's almost white.
Almost.
He's 90%
It's close.
You almost did it. But I proactively search out mega doctors. Like I went to a bone guy recently. What do you call them? I don't know. I had a fracture in my hand. And I heard from a friend of a friend.
Orthopedic surgeon?
Yeah, that's it. And he was mega. And I don't know. I know they're not going to be malicious.
Yeah. There you go.
I had a liberal Jew who knew who I was.
Oh, boy.
And I had an infection. And my copay's super high. It's $1,000. And he gives me a bill for $995.
Dude, that's fuck you. That's like
fuck you, right?
Hey, your next visit though.
Yeah, $6 more. It would have been free.
Oh,
you just had to give me
how to fuck you like
antibiotics. I had a cut that got infected. I needed antibiotics. I could have gone to a vending machine.
Yeah, in any other country.
In Russia, I bet you don't even go to a doctor.
You
just go to the pharmacy and say,
it is infection. Like take care of.
Give me strongest antibiotic in the world, even if it makes super bacteria. That's someone else's problem.
Down it with my vending machine vodka.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think conservatives don't really give a fuck who their clientele are.
Correct.
But liberals would get. You've seen how mental they are out on the streets. Yeah. It's you definitely don't want that. I could see the guy saying like, "Oh, it's infected from all the racism and hate bubbling up in your system."
Well, they were pushing something in Britain in the NHS where they were trying to make it possible to withhold medical care from or to racists.
Whoa!
And you're like, who? According to whom?
I don't care where you are. That's illegal. Like, I don't care what the Constitution is, if they don't have one, if it's anarchy. That's pretty much, you can't really do that.
Maybe in World War II, if Hitler came up to you bleeding, you'd be like, no, you're the main bad guy.
Yeah.
I'm not stitching you up.
I think a medic is still kind of obligated to patch up Hitler's wounds. It's a kind of a creed.
Yeah. I guess so, right?
They would
That's
treat
the craziest
enemy.
example my brain could come up with.
I watch MASH, which of course is one of the most liberal fucking, all the writers, the actors are all bleeding hard fucking liberals. And you watch that and every doctor was more willing to help an enemy soldier than an American or an ally soldier. It's like, and Major Burns would be saying, oh, well, you get that commie out of here, the operating room. And they're like, it's a kid. Burns, it's a kid, ferret face. What do you? And then they'd patch him up, and everything's hunky dory and cool. But yeah, something tells me it probably wasn't that way.
No, especially after their best friend had his legs blown off by
the same guy. Right.
Animosity that's going to develop in a war situation.
Yeah. You're not
probably come in there with an open mind,
apt to.
And when you're talking to someone, their head goes.
Yeah. I'm sure the only time you're saving the enemy is if he'd be useful to you in some way, information or a trade or something. You wouldn't just be like, hey, this is a human being here, and I save people.
I think the mistake we're both making right now is there's like the naivete at the beginning.
Yeah.
And this is beautifully portrayed in that recent German movie, whatever it was called.
Oh, yeah.
The remake of that classic.
Western Front?
Western Front?
Yes.
And then there's like
I
guess this isn't as great as I thought it would be. This actually sucks. But then I think the remaining 80% is just numb.
Just right.
Like your friend dies and you're like, oh, that my friend just died.
Oh,
Gotta go over the line. You're definitely gonna die. Okay, bye.
Fine. You talk to so many of those, or you listen to documentaries and whatnot from so many of these soldiers, and they tell you they've just resigned themselves to the fact that they're dead. They just happen to be still up walking around somehow. But their mindset is just, go there. All right. Dead already anyway.
If I say no, you shoot me.
Right. So I'll just do it. That's